Your trusting technique is very important. When you're trusting a woman, when you're making love to a woman, the way you go in and out is very, very important because you can either cause her pain or give her great pleasure. And in today's video, we are discussing about how to give her great pleasure and also pleasure yourself when you're trusting a woman. Depends on the size of your member, and especially if you're on the larger side, it's advisable that you watch this video until the end so that you stop causing that lady pain and even light bleeding immediately after sexual intercourse. So hi, my name is IJ. This is Real Talk with IJ. Today we're talking about 5 best ways to your woman to give her intense pleasure rather than pain. And the very first one, which I feel should be very obvious, is you definitely need to start slow. Okay, you want to have sexual pleasure with your partner, you want her to enjoy the moment, and you also want to enjoy the moment. It's very, very advisable that you start very slow because for women, our vagina opening is usually tight and small, okay, and it expands once penetration starts. So you don't just rush in, you're just going to tear something and it's not going to be pleasurable for her at all. So you need to start slow, you need to go in slowly after you're very sure that she's well lubricated. Okay, I don't have to start telling you that. The basic thing to do and the first things to do is to kiss, smooch. Make sure you put her in the mood before you put your dick inside of her. So make sure she's well lubricated and then you start slow. You go in slowly and you begin to trust slowly. Now, the more you trust, the more the vagina space opens and accepts all of your member, no matter how deep you are. And the deeper you go in slowly also. And it kind of like paves way for all of your member to go in. So don't just start with speed and with all that rush like you watch in porn and every other adult movie. You see how they just start and they start banging. All of those are fake. All of those are just acting, and it is not pleasurable at all. Even porn stars have, they've had to complain about it and said, we don't even enjoy what we are really doing. It's just for the money and all of that. So you want a girl to enjoy this experience with you. You need to start slow. You need to stop thinking this is a porn movie that you're trying to act. This is somebody's daughter, real life, that you're drilling. So you're going to drill her. You're going to definitely start slowly and watch the vagina expand and accept all of your member inside of it. So no rush. Go slowly and enjoy the moment. Secondly, you all need to learn how to tease. I've talked about building sexual tension. I've talked about teasing in a lot of my videos. So go check them out. You need to learn how to tease. Okay, there are different ways to tease a girl. Now, you can tease a girl by kissing parts on her body, but skipping like the nipple and the vagina, and skipping those delicate parts that will blow her mind off. You can also tease a girl by smooshing her and grinding her dry without taking off her clothes, or touching her clitoris while she's still wearing her pants, just on the surface, things that will make her crave, that will make her want you to tear off her clothes and rip her apart, but in a good way. Okay, so you need to learn how to tease. So you can tease by kissing every part of her body, going close to her lips, but skipping her lips. When she's leaning in to receive the kiss, you turn her head by the side and begin to kiss her neck. You can kiss in her inner thighs and you're heading towards her honey pot, but you make her feel like you're going to actually kiss her vagina, but you move around it and then you slowly move away from it. So that's how you tease. You need to tease and build up that tension in your woman. Okay, you need to learn how to tease. It's very, very important. It's one technique that most of you skip when you're about to take control in the bedroom. So you definitely need to know how to build your teasing game. Okay, you need to know how to build your teasing game. And also, when you're trying to insert your member inside of her, you can just start with using your member head to play around the vagina, the clitoris, and then you just put it in a little, and when it's like it's about to accept all of it, you pull out a little, so you don't give her the full member for her to have that gaps that when she's receiving it. Okay, so you put it slowly and then you take it out and you make her really hunger for it. You don't just go and give her everything at once. You definitely need to know how to tease. So the third one here is, how you're starting to trust and you're going, like we said, you have to start slow. You're going slow and you're moving in. You need to learn how to vary the tempo. So you start slow. Okay, let's say you start slow and you start going slowly. Then you make it medium fast and then you make it fast. And when she's getting used to that, you slow down a little. Okay, because one thing about the sweet nerve endings in the woman's vagina is it can get used to a particular tempo, and if it gets used to that particular tempo, it doesn't really enjoy it as much anymore. Okay, so if you just keep doing one particular thing, she might just get used to it and not feel anything anymore, because you're just going pa 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 pa. it could begin to sound like music in her ear, and she's just following the sound and not feeling anything. So you definitely need to know how to vary the tempo. It's also one of the way of teasing. But when so you're going really fast, really fast, really fast, you need to keep a particular tempo and don't change it because she's about to finish. Slow, and then you go faster, and then you go slow, and then you go medium, and then you go slow. Now let me tell you one mistake you should not make. Okay, when you're doing all of this, make sure you're not doing it when she's about to have an orgasm, because if she's about to have an orgasm and you tease, she's gonna kill you. For real, you're going to just ruin everything. So make sure you're not going to tease when she's about to have an orgasm. Make sure you tease when you're just building everything up, like when you're just starting. When she's about to have an orgasm, you need to keep a particular tempo and don't change it because she's about to finish. I'm sure just like for you guys, when you want to finish and you're just going that really ruggedly fast or really ruggedly smooth, you make sure that you stay on it because you need to finish. So it's the same thing with the lady. So make sure that you know when she's about to finish and you don't change the tempo, which leads me to my next point, which is pay attention. Because if you don't pay attention to your woman, you will not even know when she's about to finish. You need to pay attention to what she's enjoying, how she's enjoying it, the sounds she's making, what kind of tempo she likes. Does she really like it when you go really fast, or when you go really slow, or when you go medium slow? So you need to really pay attention to that. You need to pay attention to her body, and it will help you to just make things easier because now you already know what your woman likes. You already know if she likes when you go faster or slower, or when you go at a particular angle, or at a particular speed and all of that. So you need to pay attention to her body. Once you know, the key to satisfying your woman is you need to know what she wants. You need to know exactly what she wants. Once you know what she wants, you just go straight to bed. You tease her a little and you go straight to what you want to do, and you go straight to what she likes you to do, and that's it. And you don't even have to spend 2 hours in the bedroom with your woman, because at the end you just want to have pleasure and that final satisfaction. So the moment you begin to understand your woman's body and understand what really pleasures her when you're having sex, it becomes the game changer for you, and you will no more have stress pleasuring your woman. The last on my list today is grinding. Now I saved this for the last because it's very, very important for most women. Now, most men have this misconception of thinking that sex has to do with fast, 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 fast. You just drill, because most of these porn movies and adult movies, you'll see that's what you see them doing. They're just banging. But really, that's not how it works for women. For women, the best way to help a woman climax is when you grind. You need to learn how to grind. You need to go deep and firm. Okay, you go deep and you go firm, and you grind deep and firm. That's the best way to give your woman the maximum satisfaction, because the part of the woman's body that is most sensitive when it comes to sexual pleasure is the clitoris, and the clitoris is extended down into her vagina. Like, the clitoris is on the surface, but it has like 2 ends that are inside the vagina. Now, until you know how to grind enough to touch those like 2 ends inside the vagina, you will not be able to know how to give her sexual pleasure when you're penetrating. And that's what people call the G-spot orgasm. So you need to learn how to grind when you're inside your woman. So you go very deep and you go very firm, and then you go not like too firm. Okay, and also avoid grinding when you are just when you are freshly growing your pubic hair. Okay, it can get really itchy, and you get the point. So you can avoid grinding when your hairs are just coming out freshly. Not really good. All right. So you need to definitely learn how to grind, and the grinding techniques works a lot with mostly the cowgirl style, where she's on top of you and she's the one doing the grinding. Okay, and it also works on the missionary. Okay, it can also work on the flat doggy. So the flat doggy, where your girl is lying face down, her butt lifted up, and you're on top of her butt area, and you're going slowly. Now, all of this is going to work perfectly well. So grinding works better with some positions, unlike some other positions. So if you learn how to grind, it can be a game changer when it comes to your trusting skill with your partner. So these are the 5 things that women really want you to do in bed to drive them crazy and to give them maximum satisfaction.
Oh yeah, man. They don't give una expo. Make una know wetin to do. E don bio. These 5 lessons no be come chop o. You don see how the lesson carry be. I mean, me and you may work am well, so their mind go dey. Lis ten am well, and they go know how far e be. No be choice. The guy don finish work, sha. Yeah.